We are accustomed to being the one who is doing all of the giving. We're accustomed to changing who we are to accommodate someone else. Welcome to the Black Mother Wound podcast, where we center the stories of Black women as we heal from the painful relationships with our mothers. Welcome to the Black Mother Wound podcast. I'm your host, Jennifer Arnice. I made a post, a reel on Instagram a couple months back that people really resonated with. And it said that little girls who spend too much time seeking their mother's approval turn into grown women who obsess over people thinking that they're a good person. And that made me think a lot about friendship and how having a mother wound has impacted us in our friendships. The mother wound is a relational wound. It is created between us and our mother. It is not something between a stranger. It is not something that happens with ourselves. It is not the wound so much of society. It is developed with the relationship we have with our mother. Our mother is our first love, and for many of us, our first friend. And when I say friend, the first person that we trust, the first person we want to confide in, the first person that gives us back to ourselves. And so how we show up in friendships is directly impacted by the relationship we had with our mother. And all I hear is TLC in the background. You know, my brain be going everywhere. What about your friends? Will they be around? Will they let you down again? Some of y'all might be too young for that, but all my 70s and 80s babies, y'all already know what it is. So if you have experienced being let down by your mother, rejected, not being able to trust your mother, there's a good chance that you took it personally, that you believe that it was due to your own behavior, because that's what the child in us thinks, the underdeveloped ego, because it's a part of our survival. Oh, if I'm being treated this way, it must be because of something I'm doing. If I'm not getting the treatment I want, let me change my behavior, because it has to be my fault. So when we grow up and we get into friendship, we become obsessed with people thinking that we are a good person and that we are all the things that our mother wasn't to us. We want to always be there and supportive. We want to be a listening ear. We want to be encouraging, accepting. We want to be patient. We want to overextend ourselves and be there. If they're in distress, we want to be there to help them. All of these things we really put in our friendship bucket. And there's nothing wrong with it in and of itself, except when there is no reciprocity. A healthy relationship requires reciprocity. Guess what? You didn't get when you were a child. You didn't get the reciprocity. It was a one-way street of you giving love, you giving encouragement, you accepting your mother how she is, even if it is fucked up, and you not being able to get that in return. You being patient with her making mistakes, but not having that extended back in your direction. So we grow up to be in these one-sided friendships. And what happens is, this is a theme. If you've been listening long enough, you already know this. The theme is how we reject and abandon ourselves through our choices, our activities, and the people that we spend time with, right? So what I want us to look at is how we can become a better friend to ourselves. Because a lot of us go through life and we've never had a good friend. We might have somebody who we think is a good friend, but we haven't had a good friend. And if someone did come around who could have been a good friend, we may not have recognized them because we are accustomed to not having our needs met. We are accustomed to being the one who is doing all of the giving. We're accustomed to changing who we are to accommodate someone else. We're accustomed to not being vulnerable and not showing who we really are. And we are absolutely experts at not speaking up when somebody does something that we don't think is okay. We give another chance. We let it slide. We pretend we don't notice what's happening. We give them the benefit of the doubt, which is bullshit, because there is no benefit in doubt when it comes to people. Because all you're doing is, I'm going to give them the benefit of me doubting myself. But you're doubting yourself because you already have an original thought that something ain't right. Something ain't kosher. So you doubt yourself to extend it to them. We're not doing that anymore. Okay? That time is done. But you can only have healthy friendships when you start being a good friend to yourself. You don't tolerate being mistreated. You don't tolerate people using you, people lying to you, lying on you, lying about you. All of those things become unacceptable. And I always talk about the reparenting of the inner child. And I do this to show two people, the grown ass version of you and the little girl version of you. Because what we accept in friendships as an adult, if we had a daughter, we would never, ever want her to accept that in her relationships with people she calls her friends. We would never want that for her. But somehow we've made it okay for ourselves. And that's, again, where the reparenting comes in. This is a situation where you begin to practice the reparenting in your friendship relationships. It's the same questions you're always going to ask yourself. You get quiet, take a deep breath in, get settled. What do you need from me right now? How does this situation make you feel? What do you want me to do about it? These are powerful questions, simple questions that you need to get in the habit of asking yourself. How does this make you feel when you find out that a friend has told your business and you find out about it, and this was something to be in confidence? And you say, well, it's all right. It's not a big deal. I'm not worried about it. Is that really true? But your body is telling you you feel something different. You need to learn what your emotions are. How does that make me feel? It makes me feel sad. It makes me feel kind of humiliated. I'm embarrassed that she would have shared that. Assess how we feel, or access how we feel. We're so emotionally shut down, and we have completely dumbed down our emotions. It's like taking a Novocaine when you go to the dentist. And when you do this, it's impossible for you to have a high quality relationship with yourself, which is what healing the mother wound is all about. But you also are not going to have a high quality relationship with others. You're not going to be able to have healthy friendships. And then what happens by the time that you're in your 30s, 40s, or 50s, you have been hurt so much by people that you realize, I can't trust anybody. I don't have no friends. I'm just depend on myself. If you knew how many of y'all come into my DMs and talk about how you have decided that I don't need nobody, I'm just going to be by myself, I can't trust nobody, it's too late. When actually it's you who have rejected and abandoned yourself so long, and you don't know how to, or you're not willing to do the work to heal that part of yourself. Listen, let me go on with my broken record. There are so many people out here that are available to love you. There are trusting people who are encouraging and kind and supportive. And I feel like it's hard, and I keep saying it because you think, well, if my mother wasn't that way, how could anybody else? If she wasn't someone I could trust and lean on, if she didn't support me, how could anybody else? And then God forbid, if she's somebody who's also told you nobody is going to be there for her, for you, because no one was ever there for her, and she never learned how to build healthy relationships, then it's even a double doozy on you. But this is all a part of the process. And so what I want you to do is, before you start thinking about how to have better friendships with others, I want you to really investigate how you can be a better friend to yourself. Are you honest with yourself? Can you trust yourself? Do you have integrity with yourself? Do you do what you say you're going to do for yourself? Are all of these a part of who you are? Do you encourage yourself? Do you give yourself patience? Are you kind with yourself? Are you supportive? Are you understanding with yourself? If you're not, your focus doesn't need to be on how to have better friends with others, because it's not going to work, because we teach people how to treat us. And I promise you, as soon as you begin to have a better relationship with yourself and you become your friend, you become your confidant, you become the love of your own life, people that have the ability and the desire to treat you that way will gravitate into your life more. And the relationships that you have that don't look like that will fall by the wayside. Now, people are going to call you selfish. They're going to say that you changed, that who do you think you are? They're going to try and make you feel guilty. Child, just wave goodbye. Don't even engage in the conversation. I think that we have such a dedication to others because we were so dedicated to our mother. We were so dedicated to her, getting her love, getting her approval, being there for her, because we thought that it would mean that she would be there for us, that we overcommit to people in friendships. We become the do or die friend. And we think that somehow makes us a better person. But you can't be a better person. You're a good person. You come in good, you leave good. As long as you're not an axe murderer, a sociopath, you're not out here robbing old ladies and kicking children, you're a good person. There is no, oh, I need to be a better person based off the way that I am in my friendships. It's like overkill. And what you end up doing is depleting yourself. And you have nothing left in your tank. And then you end up alone at home on a Friday night wondering why no one is calling you, no one is there for you, why you don't have anybody that you can lean on, because you picked the wrong friends. Because you thought if I'm a good friend to them, that means they'll automatically be a good friend back to me. And that's not the case. You become a good friend to yourself, and then people will become a good friend to you. And what you really have to do is define, what is friendship to you? How often do you want to talk to somebody? What types of things do you want to have in common with the person? What are deal breakers in friendships? We talk about this when we talk about being in a relationship romantically. You know, this is your list of things that you want in a man. But we don't make lists of things we want in friendship. We just so happy that somebody likes us, that somebody wants to call us or hang around with us, even if they are using us, even if they don't have anything to offer us. But I want you to think about, what kind of friends do you want to have? You know what you bring to a friendship. What would you want someone to bring into your life? And what does that look like? What are the examples of that? So you can start taking that and measuring it against the people that are in your life now. The next thing you have to do is start living your life. There are too many of you out here that are not living your life. You don't even know what things that you like to do, what your interests are. You go to work, you come home, you watch Real Housewives of Atlanta, you might go out to eat somewhere, you go shopping, you come home. That's it. You don't even have a life. Get a damn life. I love being outside. I like being in nature. So this year, I'm really committed to doing more outdoor activities because that's like my happy place. I took a kayaking class earlier, a couple months back. I went by myself. I didn't have a friend that wanted to go with me. That's cool. But guess what? I met someone there. There was a synergy between us. And guess what? We're going kayaking in a couple of weeks. That's an activity that I like. Now, are they going to become my best friend? I don't know. I don't have to go that far into it, but I know there's somebody that they come off as a good person. I don't have to tell them my whole life story while we're out there rowing in the water, but those are activities that I can enjoy, and I can find people that like to do things that I like to do. So I really want you to take an inventory of, who are you? What do you enjoy? What's important to you? And start doing those things, and you'll start to meet different people. But you have to start at the very beginning, undoing the ways that you reject yourself and you abandon yourself and you think that you don't deserve, and the way you keep giving people chances, and you're doing it. And please do not come sending me no message trying to make an excuse for somebody. Well, this happened and that happened. And no, be honest. Be honest with yourself. Go inside. How does what this person did make me feel? I don't like it. It makes me feel sad. It makes me feel angry, whatever. I already went through that. But then you make a decision from there. But your goal is not to change that person, because that's what we do with our mothers. We want to change them and turn them into the person. That person might be able to make an adjustment, and you have every right to say something to them. But more than anything, you have to realize when that person is not changing, and from there, you do the work of moving on. Friendship is really starts with yourself, and then it extends out. In a way, I have a lot to say about this, but in a way I don't. Treat yourself better. Everything that I'm talking to y'all about in healing your mother wound is about how you learn to treat yourself better. It is about healing the relationship you have with yourself. And when you do that, your relationships will automatically improve. So stop trying to put the cart before the horse. Stop trying to have good friendships when you're not a good friend to yourself. Stop trying to figure out, well, how do you learn to trust people, and still protect yourself? Do you even trust yourself? Do you advocate for yourself? Are you there for yourself? If you do those things, you don't have to worry about trusting somebody, because when somebody tries to pull one over on you, you will know how to respond. And you will know how to respond before y'all are in a deep, long, confidant level friendship. And give friendships time to evolve. Give them time to grow. You don't have to jump in and y'all be best friends in the first 2 weeks just because you all had some stuff in common. Y'all might just have trauma in common. Okay? That's why I said think about the kind of friend that you want. And it's not their job to rescue you either. That is only a job you can do. I feel like I've started yelling now, so it's probably time for me to go. Listen, I know this is hard, and sometimes it feels unfair that you like, God damn, why do I have to fix all of these things that my mother should have done? I don't know. These are the cards we're dealt. All I can tell you is this is the work, and it's worth it if you commit to doing it. And if you believe that you're worth it, you're worth being happy. You're worth loving on yourself and being loved on by other people. So that's all I got for y'all today. We are all in this together. I'll see you next week. Please comment and share and review this podcast. this episode. It goes a long way in helping this platform grow. And if you don't know, we are also a video podcast now, and you can find us on YouTube. And if you're watching me on YouTube, please subscribe, comment, like, and share. I'll see you guys later. Bye. Thank you for listening to the Black Mother Wound podcast. I hope you enjoyed today's episode, and make sure you comment, subscribe, and rate the show. You can keep the conversation going over on IG at Black Mother Wound, and click the link in the show notes to download the free Mother Wound Healing Guide. See you next week.